Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a What's for Dinner video. For today's video, we are answering the age-old question, what's for dinner? And my friends, we're answering that question on a budget because that's what we do for everything on a budget. All right, let's get started. Okay, so for tonight's dinner, we're making a Brussels sprout and sausage skillet situation, and I'm going to make some rice on the side. Substitutions, I don't have the Parmesan that is in the recipe, so I'm just using what I got on discount because all recipes are suggestions, a guideline, and not the rules. We're going to put a small onion into our already hot skillet. We're going to add in our Italian sausage. To that, I just use Italian sausage because that's what I had. We have our bag of Brussels sprouts that are half off, which was amazing, and I'm going to dump them in. There's some salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. Okay, and then I always like to add some crushed red pepper to stuff. It's kind of like in my trifecta. In my house, it's salt, pepper, crushed red pepper. And right now there is currently like 20 minutes left on the rice. So I think that'll be a good amount of time for these Brussels sprouts to cook all the way through. Our final and most exciting step of tonight's dinner is the cheese. Okay. Here is dinner. All finished. That cheese has melted. And then, of course, I got the rice. I use the same spatula to stir the rice as everything else because no more dishes. You know what I mean? All right, my friends, it's Editing Becky on the mic. I'm here to tell you that this was good. I will say the telltale sign in our house if there's any leftovers left, and there are of this dish. So is it something I'd make again? No. Is it a solid option if you find some Brussels sprouts on sale? Absolutely. The next dish I'm making, also, side note, I'm using a can opener, and that's such a huge win because I haven't been able to use a can opener since November, okay? And it just made me so happy. Anyways, so I'm making tamale pie. I make this all the time. And don't get any eggshells in there, girl. What are you doing? Anyways, it's a classic in our house. I also have made this with just like leftover chili, and it's so good. And also, I read recently that you can add chia seeds to savory dishes to increase the fiber intake. Oh, also, I needed to use the enchilada sauce. I gave it the sniff test, and it was fine. It was just in my fridge, and I was like, well, how am I going to use this? Anyways, and I'm here to report. You couldn't even tell. I added 2 tablespoons to this dish, and I added some water, a little extra water to help the chia seeds absorb more liquid. You genuinely couldn't even tell with the texture. And also, I didn't want to make another dish dirty, so I put the cornbread mix right on top. I used an oven-safe pan, and I will say it was nice for dishes, but man, it was very one-sided heavy, which ended up being fine. Just 2 hands McGee over here had to lift it. I did the best I can. Look at that wrist surgery recovery in action in real time, you guys. But yes, tamale pie, if you've never had it, you never tried it, that's a recipe that's always in rotation in our house, and it is so freaking good. And now it's time to move on to the next dinner of the week. We are making a mushroom egg noodle dish. Question mark. This is kind of like stroganoff, but there's no cream in it. And so I took bits and pieces from stroganoff recipes and then a few other recipes I found online. That's kind of how I make most dinners, is I just kind of read a bunch of recipes and then take something from all of them and then make it into my own thing. I've made this before, and it's really, really good. Super simple, light, easy. It was done in, gosh, 10 minutes. It was such a quick dinner, and sometimes that's really all you need, is just a dinner that's going to be fast. So yeah, done so fast is what I was trying to say. Anyways, and this dish actually calls for Parmesan cheese, but girl, that hatch pepper cheese carried us through the week. Okay, it was also very, very good. Hey party people, welcome to another day of making dinner together. We are going to be making some pork chops for dinner. Pork chops are a budget-friendly meal. Usually they're pretty cheap. If you grew up in the 2000s, then you probably have bad memories of pork chops for dinner. Dry, probably not that great. But I'm going to share with you one of the recipes that I use all the time for pork chops for Garrett and I. And they are approved from 2 kids who grew up in the 2000s. So if that isn't enough proof to show you that these pork chops are indeed delicious, you'll have to try them at home. Let me know what you think. So let's get started with pork chops, but make them delicious and not 2000s coated, okay? 1 full block of cream cheese, Greek yogurt, you could use sour cream, and I like to add in some cottage cheese just for a little added protein. For tonight's dinner, I'm going to use feta, mostly because I have it, but also because one of the sides that I'm going to make has feta, and I just feel like it'll be like a good incorporation there. Okay, and this is where you need to shine, okay? Season, salt, pepper. Got to put in some garlic. You're going to throw in a little onion powder, crushed red pepper, and I like to give mine a little bit of extra heat, so I'm going to do a little cayenne pepper, just a little bit of chili powder. The chili powder is going to give it like a little bit more of a smokiness, and then we just stir this all together. Okay, on your actual pork chops, you need to season them on both sides, so salt and pepper, because in this house we season every layer, this, and we dollop it on top. I'm serious, and you're probably like, holy cow, girl. I know, it's a lot, but it is delicious. That's because we put in quite a hefty amount of everything. Carrots, and I want to do a feta balsamic situation, so let me show you what we're going to do. Okay, so you're going to put a little bit of oil in here, put a little bit of balsamic, honey, pepper, some salt, quite a bit of garlic powder, of course crushed red pepper, and you want to make sure you mix this up because you want everything to be well combined. I'm going to give it a little, use a little bit more salt and pepper, a little bit more garlic. I'm putting them in here. I should have done that from the beginning. Dump it all out. Our carrots need to cook at 400 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes, depending. And our pork chops need to cook at 375. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 400 because I like my veggies to be nice and crispy. And we're just going to do less time on the pork chop. And the pork chops need to rest anyway, so it'll work out just fine.
All right, I'm here to report that this dish was good. The pork chops, are always solid. The carrots is what I was not sure about. Garrett really liked them. I am a big feta girly, and it was nice to use up the carrots in a different way than I typically would have.
Okay, Garrett and I just got home from the park, and I am honestly hangry, okay? And so we're gonna make this very fast. This is our last meal of the Sweats for Dinner video, and this is a very budget-friendly meal because our protein I got for 99 cents. I just gripped on my arm, love that. Our can of beans we got for 59 cents. And these we got on sale at Costco a while ago, and I have one more box after this one. Finally making it through the Annie's. Much prefer the Goodles, but the Annie's were on sale. So, let's get started. I'm not a huge fan of pork tenderloin, but there is one way that I have made it in the past that's really good, so we're gonna make that together right now.
All right, we're going for a crispy, fried pork loin situation. Honestly, it's just a solid way to use up the pork loin that I got for 99 cents. And you just kind of dredge it like you would any other fried thing, like flour or whatever, give it a little egg dip, and cook it on both sides on high heat in some oil on a cast iron for a few minutes each side. And I just paired it with a mac and cheese and a green bean. And seriously, you guys, it's delicious. Garrett was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. And it was one of the more simple dishes I made all week. So happy cooking.
Okay, party people, that is going to end out today's video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you subscribe, hang out for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video super soon. Bye!